Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to Daily Driven E36. So today I'm finally going to be doing a video that I always want to do from the beginning when I did my S54 swap, which is pricing. Some of you guys been asking me how much everything costs, how much was everything and all that. So I'm going to do the video. This is going to be based on my experience on the prices that was on the time that I actually bought all the parts and everything, and the car that I did the swap to, and I'll talk about a little bit about that. It's gonna be two-part video, or it's gonna be one video, but it's gonna be two-part pricing, and one is gonna be how much is the swap to do the engine and everything, and then the maintenance, which is really important. So since I had a really good experience with the donor car and doing the swaps, this time I actually decided to get a donor car. And if you guys haven't seen the video or haven't seen my donor car, here's a quick video of what it looked like. It's a 2001 e36 M3. I paid, well, I actually bought it from auction. It was wrecked, and I bought it for $3,900. And since I live in California, I have to pay taxes and all the fees and all that stuff, so it came out to $4,300. And plus the tow, the car was 400 or 500 miles away from my house, and that was $250 to tow it, which is not that bad. It's a 6-speed manual, and the reason why I bought the donor car is I would say 90-95% of parts that I needed to the swap was in that car, and the car I was doing the swap into, even though it's 1995 325 IS. Again, if you've seen my previous videos, this car has 95 M3 everything, subframe, differential, front brakes, rear brakes, interior. It even had S50 engine and tranny in it. So with having that donor car and my setup that I had on 95 E36 BMW, the only thing that I had to buy extra is engine wire harness adapter, and that was $350. It came with a free EWS delete. And even though you might say $350 is a lot, if you've done your research, the cheapest one that I found other than that, it was $650, and anywhere from $100 to $250 to do EWS delete. If you don't know what the EWS is, it's an immobilizer, something I don't even know how it translates, but it's the chip that goes inside your key to prevent from stealing and all that stuff. So, and I know you can do EWS delete yourself. See, if you have a program, you can do wire harness yourself, but it was $350, plug and play, and I got free EWS delete, so why not? I got electric fan, and at that point you can actually start the car and drive it. Like literally, it's drivable car. Everything else is really up to you. What are you gonna do? What kind of stuff you're gonna add? But in my case, since I live in California and I have to smoke the car and all that stuff, I had to install evap system, which came with the donor car, oil cooler. Even though I actually used OEM from S54, I still had to buy aftermarket because mine leaked. Again, if you've seen the video, my previous video, you know why and what happened. I'm not going to talk about all the details. I had to flash or reprogram ECU, aka DME, to since because it's a 95, it doesn't have ABS, there is no traction control, there's no buttons for the radio and all that stuff, so I had to get that deleted. What else? And again, like I said, it's at that point car already drives and runs and everything. So, and again, because I'm in California, I had to buy intake. You don't have to, it depends on where you live, but I paid $350 for that. You can see a secondary air pump, radiator overflow or the antifreeze, exhaust and everything. This is all from donor car. So even though I had running car, I had 6-speed manual tranny, I still had to do a lot of maintenance to it. It had somewhat brand new clutch, but previous owner, I guess, didn't know how to drive or something, but I threw the clutch away. I had to buy new clutch, resurface flywheel, do valve adjustments, valve cover gasket, water pump, thermostat, crankshaft bearings, and all the seals and all the little maintenance and everything. I'm not gonna be talking about the prices. I'm gonna just put on the screen so you can read it. And I drove the car for a month, give it a take, and my Vanos started to rattle. So I started doing that. And again, you can have shop do it, but I'm not gonna talk about prices. It's around 2 to 3 grand, depending on what you take. But if you've seen my previous video, I actually did it myself. I didn't do step-by-step video because that was my first time doing. Honestly, didn't do all the little details, and I didn't want to like, okay, this is how you do it and all that stuff. So, but if you buy rebuilt Vanos, it's gonna cost you $1,400. It comes with all the seals and everything, and new oil pump. For me, again, you can see the prices, how much I paid. I did have to buy tool for it, which is timing tool, and I think that was one of the things that you can actually rent it or later resell it and get your money back. But I'm gonna keep it for whatever, I don't know. Might use it on a different car or something. But so at the end, you might be asking, so was it really worth it? You know, maybe I should have. Maybe you're thinking about doing a supercharger on your S50 engine or whatever engine that you have in your car. I'm not gonna say don't do it. I'm not gonna say, you know, do the S54 swap or anything like that. But the reason why I did the swap, even though my S50 engine was rebuilt, it wasn't built for the supercharger or turbo, so you can't really push it to the limits, and I don't know how much you can really get out of it with the supercharger. Well, let's say, for example, you can get, I don't know, 300 horses out of it. So what's after that? And you might be saying that, you know, 300 horses and E36, I'll be happy with it and I'll be done, all that. But trust me, you will want to get more. And that's why I actually did S54. So I know these engines come 333 or something like that from factory, but it's not a brand new engine, so hopefully it's still pushing 300. And after driving, what is it, like 6, 7, whatever month that I've been driving this car, I actually want to do more, and that was my plan. I wanted to get this engine and then supercharge it later, which one of the mistakes that I made, I had a chance to buy donor car with a supercharger, but at that point I was like, or at that moment I was like, it's a little bit too much. And I had a chance to buy one of the cars that actually was sold at the auction for $8,000. Yes, you might say it's a lot of money and all that, but if you think about it, just a supercharger is $10K and more, and you're already getting engine, tranny, supercharger, and that engine's probably already tuned and all that. So it was plug and play at that point. Just do a swap, plug everything together, and just drive the car, enjoy it. So if you are thinking about same swap, you might want to consider that. You know, if you're thinking doing a supercharger later, just buy a donor car with a supercharger. Yes, you have to pay a little more upfront, but honestly, you're gonna save a ton of money later. So yes, I do like the engine. I like the power that it makes. It's a lot faster. Even though I talked about my previous video, after my Vanos started to go out, I lost a lot of power, and I did the Vanos rebuild, and it's actually coming back together. So oh, and by the way, I'm gonna be at Beamer Fest this weekend, so if you've never been at Beamer Fest, I highly recommend go out and looking at the cars. If you like BMWs, you're gonna love it. There's like literally thousands and thousands of cars, anywhere from beater to show car. And if you be out there, hopefully I'll see you there. If not, I'm gonna have a video for next week on Beamer Fest, all the cars and everything, so check that out and hopefully see you there. Oh, and by the way, if you do live in California or any state or country or whatever that requires smoking and all that stuff, it's actually, well, it all depends on what state you live in and all that, because again, all the requirements in every state and countries are different, so I can't really talk about what do you have to do to make your car street legal. After I'm done with doing a referee inspection and all that stuff on this car, I am gonna do or I am gonna make different video and talk about what I had to do, what kind of stuff that I had to do there. But I kind of let you know, heads up, that there's a lot of DME or ECU tuning that you have to do, a lot of stuff that you have to delete and change and all that stuff. So if you know somebody who does that, or you can do it yourself, you can save some money. But if you take it to somebody that, you know, to pay and do all that stuff, it can be really pricey. But again, I'm not gonna talk about all that stuff because it varies country to country, state to state. But I will make the video after I'm done with the referee inspection on my car, and I'll talk about the California requirements and all that stuff that I actually had to do.